1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I accidentally chose the wrong Phoenix for this track, but I just decided to roll with it. I got kind of a bad start because of the CSP mod not showing the go lights at the beginning of the race, so that caught me off guard. But we made it okay. Started pretty good position actually, behind the Dodge Viper there. And we're just trying to kind of have the strategy of survive for the first half of the race, which is advice I don't follow, I guess, at some point coming up sometime here. But I put up a good fight with that Dodge Viper for a good portion of the race. Can't remember what that car in front of me is. The sound is so good on those. I think that's the Ferrari 333. I think that's the Ferrari. Sounds like it. I think they're putting up a bit of a struggle against passing the Viper, because they shouldn't really be that slow, or at least I shouldn't be able to catch up to them that easily. But I guess the track's just really putting up a fight. So right in the middle of the corner, the car just stops right in front of me, and I just go right up under him, scoop him right over me. At least I turned him 360 degrees, but it was just out of nowhere. I didn't expect it. Pretty funny though. He's back there now. The Oldsmobile behind me. Jump ahead a little later on, fighting the Viper. The car's just bouncing on the track. This track is very unstable, but put up a good fight. I try to go for an inside on him, but he still has a lot of horsepower, so he just guns straight forward, sets up for the next. There's a lot of back and forth like this. I just didn't have the torque, and if I push too hard, that car just wants to spin for days. The Oldsmobile behind us trying to pass. I tried to let him a few times, but he just, I don't know, he doesn't have the power in the certain sections. Or he's just having a bad day, I'm not sure, but trying to keep it with. You can see him pulling away right there. It's just, he's got a lot of horsepower. Relentless. The bump there kind of can send you into that wall, so I'm very cautious at this point. So we're only, I think, 6-5 laps in, somewhere in there. Maybe on our 4th even, but I catch up to him. This is a good few laps of battle with this Dodge Viper. I go for another inside because I can brake later, but he's just still ahead. Oldsmobile still in the back there. I kind of end up slowing down a lot of the times because I'm catching him in those 90-degree corners, but I think this is where I get the drop on him. I try to let the Oldsmobile pass. He taps me there, but we're just side by side for the remainder of that straight, basically. Almost. Pretty sure neck and neck at this point. Same spots, but he's still pretty much on it. He can pull away real easy. You can see I'm having to slow down just because I don't want to slam into him. And then he pulls away on these kinks, these really tight corners. He just has a lot of that torque. He just gets away. To this straight S. An easy corner to misjudge. Very fast, but just those slight bumps can send you into the wall. It's a little tug of war going through here, but I can at least maintain distance and keep up with them. I think this is where I get a good bit of corner on him, the straight line speed, because I exit better. Tried to line that up, and I actually end up passing him. And then this is the point where I can, because I can definitely brake later than him, so I get ahead quite considerably. He'll stay on me for a while, but once the flow opens up, it's kinda much easier. Oldsmobile's still in the back, and then this is a few laps later. We're going into the S, the slight bends, and the car, I don't know, I just misjudged the corner and can damage my front considerably, enough that my wheel is about 40 degrees to the left after this point. You can see the Oldsmobile back. I had a good gap on him too, and then the car I spun around slows down just to point and laugh at me. But at this point, I'm just not sure the wheel with that 40-degree turn. Here's later on, though. I'm already past that point. This is probably about halfway into the hour-some-minute race. It's an hour and 4 minutes. But I'm fighting this car. I think it's for position. One of the Camaros. With damage, of course. The cars don't really seem like they have physical look damage, but more suspension damage than anything that I got hitting that barrier. Nice onboard view. Running over the pit line there always worries me, because sometimes cars just shoot into that right in front of you. Get a good run on him there. He doesn't quite have the power, I guess, that Conway's Camaro has, so he just gets left behind a little bit. Bumpy on the track. You can go wide, but you risk those bumps and going into the wall. Yeah, definitely passed him at this point. And then I think we're later on. This is almost near the end of the race, where I'm fighting another Camaro for position, which is just up in front of this. I think it's the Ferrari, another Ferrari. Which he's just got past, so that opens him up for me to start fighting with him. A little slow there. I had to really hit the brakes just to not plow into him. Not too bad. I was trying to go for the outside there, but he braked way later. Started passing him on the inside there, which is pretty decent. It's a good passing spot I found, either there or just after it by getting a good exit. And then I think this was like just to run through the final few laps. The car is really torquey though. This thing will, in almost any gear, just try to burn out. So keeping it under control is not quite, it's alright. It's a fun car to drive though, for sure. Onto the back for the final lap. I don't know what the car there, just revving its engine in the pits for no reason. Did that for quite a while. There were a few cars that were knocked out at this point. One was the Saline Mustang, which was the GTO class. Probably the only opponent to the Viper in this race. Some of the other GTO cars weren't in it. I'm fighting a GTU car here, just trying to get around him. And that's kind of a lot of the race, was just fighting the traffic. There's a lot of moments where there's just nothing going on. You're just fighting for a good pace. That's about it. Fighting traffic, good pace. Once you see another car in your class, it's probably, are they behind me? Are they ahead of me? I can't tell at this point. So you just kind of gotta try and stick to it. Car handles pretty good though, for what it is. It's a pretty beefy engine in that thing. Yeah, the damage was pretty rough, especially getting it at the beginning of the race, holding the steering the way that I did. Final corner, on the last lap. Coming up to the straight and past the line. Under that iceberg sign. That pretty much solidifies that. I actually get 8th overall, which is not too bad. But 2nd place, because Craig Conway's there in 5th. He's in my class, AGT. And then I beat Gary Smith and did that pretty good against that other Camaro that you saw that I was fighting with. So 8th overall, not too bad. And then overall position in the entire series right now, just 2 races in. 7th overall, still 2nd to Craig Conway, who destroyed the last, but that's fine. But not too bad. I guess we'll see what the next one holds.